everybody, even you see the most cruel people, all is come from baby, right? At the time of child, baby, so everyone is survived on the mother or mother or acting mothers is milk. And milk, I consider the symbol of compassion.
Listen. There.
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 In the center of that silence, there is a story not being told.
It would take more than 1,001 nights to tell each and everyone's story.
More than a river of ink to write them down.
But we have to be beginning.
If we don't, sleep splits wide open. The killing comes back.
My work is about a healing process. It's about bringing young people together from all over the planet who talk to each other, who build community, who resurrect themselves in that process and transcend in that process. That's what Children of War is about.
I ultimately hope that we will come out of this with a piece of theater that will have an impact in the world, that would have initially incorporate stories of the various people we would talk to, that would try to build to some kind of a dramatic catharsis, out of which we would then try to theatrically create an experience of compassion or nonviolence.
I realized that I need help. And that's maybe the first step for me. And I asked before, I denied everything. My father said, you have any problem, can I help you? I said, no. Anything's no, I reject him totally. I'm always, okay. But I almost killed myself a few times and, thinking about doing it many times. And I think why I'm here is to work with other people and ask people to help me.
Most of my years professionally has been about working to find ways to utilize the theater and utilize the arts to transform and to heal. That's what I've been doing for 20 years. And so to have the opportunity to see it happen perhaps in a way that is more universal and brings in more people and has the power to reach a whole lot more folk. That's why I'm here.
What am I doing here in Cambodia? Because I'm not needed in Cambodia. I'm needed in Brooklyn, New York. There's a war in Brooklyn, and in the Bronx and in Manhattan, and to me it's no different than the war in Cambodia. I mean, really, it's no different than the war in Bosnia. I'm very weary of "We Are the World," let's all sing together projects. I think like let's sing a song doesn't heal people, but I know that theater does.
I grew up with a gang. I didn't have a family, so my gang was my family. Take a gang along. And if you're going to take a gang, you better get some good street fighters to come along who know how to kick ass.
Larry and the gang.
75, right after 75, Pol Pot came in and they were trying to get a musician to play their revolutionary song. I also play music and also direct the dancer. And that's how we met each other for the first time. I was asked by the Khmer Rouge to also play these instruments. I had two teachers. One of my old teachers taught me 5 days to perform this, and he's older than him. Right away, they killed the guy, my old teacher. So I know sort of basic playing. I became better when I met him. He taught me a little more. So we began to perform together. I do not play alone by myself anymore. And the Khmer Rouge sort of keep us there. And I was a lead. Even though I don't know much about, really, I was just started. a year, and I know about the Khmer Rouge song very well, and he doesn't. So I always lead. He was nervous when he could not lead the song. If he made mistake 2 or 3 or 4 times, the Khmer Rouge would kill him. But he just asked me to lead it. Every time the Khmer Rouge song, you have to lead, and he followed. Many people dying every day there, and I still have any extra food or a lot of food that I would come bring into him, especially, and then to the whole orchestra. So I'm very close to him already, and with other players. So I always thinking about him. I lost contact with my family. It was a intense killing now in that temple where I stayed, and I was almost go insane, go crazy. I almost died myself. I weighed about 60 pounds around there. That 5 months, the Khmer Rouge was campaigning a lot of intense killing, and many times they were after me to help them carry, to help them take people to kill, and sometimes they would ask me to carry them or to hold the victims, and the Khmer Rouge would stick the bayonet into them, and they would ask me to take out their clothes, the people's clothes. And I witnessed about 4, 5, or 6,000 people that time, just about very short few months, that got killed by the Khmer Rouge. I cry not because I was thinking about him, but at the same time I lose my power. I lose my power of not helping other people.
ហើយដល់ពេលហ្នឹងគេឲ្យធ្វើការគេរើសកូនអ្នកធ្វើទាហានណា
She was very young, and now they assigned her to pick up, dig the well, and to pick up the dirt from the well up. And she remembered that they have a big, not shovel, but holders, like a holder, not shovel, but yeah, bucket from, thank you. Bucket make it from hard metal, and some of them carried 3 people in order to put it up. She got so sick because the place, the sidewall is so high, and she went up one time, she remember, and she fall, and she dropped herself hard, and then she's screaming for her parents, and she just got too sick. She couldn't walk for 3 months. I don't want my son to know about my past. I don't want everybody know about the past, okay? If I speak to somebody about my old story and make me despair and make me cry, I can't. I'm sorry, thank you.
In 1945, when the army came into the concentration camps in Germany, and they saw many Jewish people in the concentration camps, in the ovens, skinny, starving, and the Jewish people came, and as I grew up, the people who came from the concentration camps said, we must tell the story so it will never happen again. And the Jewish people have this phrase, never again.
My father moved into the leadership of the civil rights movement, as it was called in America. He was arrested 33 times for refusing to obey laws that he felt were unjust. There was constant threats during the course of our lives. When I was 12 years old, my father was shot and killed. And people say, well, you should hate all white people. Well, I've seen hatred in all different races and all different colors and all different faces. It's not about the color, it's about the heart. And that's what's important.
Once they reach here means they feel very safe, they feel very secure, and then they see they have future, and then they have direction. And then one thing, very important thing is that when they arrive here, they are very close to His Holiness.
We feel privileged that you have agreed to talk with us today.
He is from a nomadic family. That's from the eastern part, of Tibet. His mother accompanied, Kama and his younger brother, to come over to India. That driver decided to take them over in the truck after paying him around 3,000 rupees. And they boarded the bus and later reached, a police stop. And before the stop, the driver asked them to get out. It was very, exciting as well as, they had fear in their minds. They took 3 months to finally get over with their, journey. And the last one was the most difficult, climbing the mountain. It was already winter, and they had to climb across the, snow-capped mountain.
What were you thinking the whole time?
The only thing in his mind was, when will I fall down and die? Yeah. The hope for them was His Holiness. The older ones were telling the younger ones that His Holiness would be there to help them.
Being a girl myself, I felt that they beat me and they done such rude things on me. And I can't express in English that.
They beat you?
Yes. They beat me, and even if that was for only one day, I was put in prison. But they done such rude things on me. All the roads were covered with snow, and there's no bus and trucks going there. So I came all the way walking from Tibet. Even if my dad is in mid-60s, being a girl, he took me on his back, and all the way for about 7 days we came walking from Tibet. And that's all.
It's like this, It's like, God has, given us such a life. We have to anyone, we have to just say like this, We are not up to that level, to show our, to meet our shoulder to them, to anyone in this world, We just have to plead them. And that's all we can do, A person without a nation is simply a man without oxygen,
I just want to play the flute for you from Cambodia. I have a question also. I have served Mahako Sananda, from Cambodia, Mahako.
Oh, yes, I know.
I served him.
Oh, my old friend, yes.
Before, yeah. I lost most of my family in Cambodia, and it has to do with Chinese supporting Khmer Rouge also. What I'm doing with Children of War and go back to Cambodia to do a lot of work, like serving other people, I think I can have potential to make peace in the world, hopefully to join the Tibetan, to find the freedom for Tibetan. But my question is that I can't deal with my anger all the time. I have a lot of hurt. My potential have been limited because of my anger. And I suggest that I don't know how I can do this, but you said kindness, compassion. Many times I did not believe in it. But I ask your suggestion and maybe Mahakosananda to mainly focus on going to touch those millions of children who haven't seen you, haven't seen Mahakosananda or Martin Luther King. They've heard of their name. To focus on the new generation, to be compassionate and all of that. And all I come today is to also play the soothing from Cambodian tradition. It's called lullaby, soothing.
Sit down. What is your age?
I don't know. Now, legally, I'm 29.
When I was around 29 or 28, I think I also have a lot of anger. But there is a time goes and think about the value of anger. And what use? Anger. Anger destroys one's own peace of mind. And also to destroy appetite, right? Appetite. And anger also to destroy good sleep. And anger won't harm on those people who create suffering on you. Your anger will not harm on Khmer Rouge. So you see, suppose anger harm on the person or the party who harms on you. But reality, and then you say anger seems or supposed to, presumably, is harm on other and protect you. But reality, opposite. Anger harms your own physical health, your own mental peace, and won't harm on other. Thank you.
Very happy to meet you.
I'm one of the admirers. The late father.
Thank you, and so privileged and honored to meet you. Your spirit, my father's spirit lives on in you, and I'm so thankful, I really am. It was almost like remembering what I felt like when I was with my father.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
I mean, it was just that kind of, it was very...
I think he's your father's spirit, like you said, you live in him, and you touch him like you touch your father.
Oh, yes. Yeah, and the gentleness and and see, the thing is, my father was funny. He laughed all the time. And people when he was with me, you know, with family, with his friends, he laughed a lot. And that's, I think, the laughter and the warmth and the gentleness that came from him was just oh God, it was just wonderful.
Personally, I'm trying to get in tune again with war. I personally knows about war firsthand, and I think what I'm doing in America and organizing in America, You know, I like to be in tune, back in tune, to come back to a war zone like this, and I like to help the people here if I could.
I grew up in very harsh-looking environments, so when violence happened, you understood because there's people reacting within the environment. But when you see this, it's very difficult for a person who grew up like I did to see people fighting amongst all this beauty. You know, it's very disturbing, actually. I understand fights in the Bronx and Brooklyn and all that stuff, but this.
That's almost like
So
when you think
beautiful.
about the inner city, you think of like a pop can that's been shooken up and no
Right.
one's opened it. It's like things are very explosive.
Almost all my family, they are in Sarajevo. My mom's family, they are here for 4 centuries. You know, so, you know, it is something to be like a real Sarajevan. My feelings about Serbs, I cannot, you know, to generalize all Serbs, but, you know, my father died, my friends got killed, in my family, people got killed or they died, and everything was because of this war. And I don't know, I'm afraid that I have sickness, and that sickness is to hate someone. You know, I hate to hate, because it's really sickness. But it's something that we cannot avoid. I don't think that I will ever be able to forgive.
Yeah.
Especially I lost my father. My uncle does not have legs. Just to remember that young, mothers, they didn't have diapers. They were using sheets for their babies. There was no water. They don't have to shell, they don't have to kill me just to turn off water and electricity. They are killing you, you know, in your mind. I know what can happen. Not just to me, to everybody. I can never say, oh, I have this, and I'm, you know, in peace for the rest of my life. Something can always happen.
My family, they were nomads. There are restrictions everywhere, and we cannot even express our own ideas. Everywhere you go, there are soldiers. My mother put us on a bus. There were all sorts of people on that bus, old women and mothers and lots of children. Suddenly the bus is stopped by soldiers. Where are you going, they say. We on a pilgrimage, we say. They say we cannot go because we do not have passes to move on the way. Suddenly the bus, when it stopped, we are told if we want to go, we have to walk on if we want to continue our way. We climb many mountains. It has become winter. No shoes on our feet. Snow-capped mountain. Frostbite on the way. The ladies, I said the ladies are cold. They have their hair pulled down in front of their faces. We have become snow-blinded. The snow is heavy and it's deep. And oh, we escape. We cross the border and we are free. We are crying. I said we are crying. We are crying with happiness.
Exile begins.
And a lot of things about the buses, like stop the bus and say you cannot cross, border or something like that. And I think that every war and every kind of suffering is really the same.
Yeah, that was the main point of me being here. I mean, you get it. That's how I feel. Wherever killing or one life is life. One life in Bosnian life will equal and more the same suffering as one Cambodian life. Which in reality, I don't feel it's the way it is. But, Asian life or African life, Europeans life, they all equal, they all, life. But then I began, after Children of War, I began to listen, like you said, very much. I wanted to gain respect. I want to get people to know about the problem in Cambodia. And not many Cambodians willing to talk about it because they don't like to talk about it. They don't want to be Cambodians anymore. because what's going on with our farm, with our country, the Cambodian kills the Cambodians. It's a little different from here. It's different from here. But my point is that if we cannot stop the killing, and the issue for me personally is to forgive and forget, because the killing is already done. So what we can do as young people is to, I think, to listen to each other's story, and the most important thing to show unity, you know, exchange and show unity, that these things we make sure in the future we would not do that again.
The curse and the beauty of what we do is a paradox, because the curse is we're not politicians, and we don't influence the world, and we don't change things. The beauty is we can speak our minds and our hearts like little mice, as you said, and maybe we have 5 other little mice, but we can make any statement we want to make. And that's the beauty of being in the theater and being in any art form, that you're not bound by anybody else's ideas.
You think now that if I tell my story, everything will suddenly be the happy endings? Is that what you think? How do you make an old woman to tell her story?
6 million Jews. 1.5 million Cambodians. Over 1 million Tibetans. Just numbers. Almost meaningless. War wins if we're silent, Ava. If we don't speak up, we lose ourselves. We become just numbers. But listen to my friend Arn. Listen to him as he tells how he learned to play the flute, how he practiced day after day so the Khmer Rouge would come to think of him as music so they wouldn't kill him like they did every other kid in the camp. Listen to Uncle Norman tell how he came to believe that a child could restore his ruined city of Sarajevo. Listen to Danny talk about Pablo Remeka, Greg, Cypher, Ramon. Listen to any Tibetan talk about the landscape of their country. A landscape many of them are forced to only imagine since they were exiled as children. Listen to the particular. Listen close. And you begin to hear your own heart beating in the other. Listen.